On Wednesday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis campaigned for re-election in Walton County. DeSantis touted his actions during the COVID-19 pandemic, citing his anti-lockdown stance pertaining to schools and businesses. He called out Dr. Anthony Fauci, claiming that the NIAID director was attempting to rewrite history on school lockdowns. In a recent interview, Fauci claimed that he had nothing to do with closing schools, which DeSantis and many other conservatives have called false. In the closing days of his campaign, DeSantis is consistently leading his Democratic challenger Charlie Crist by double digits. He is considered a potential 2024 Republican presidential contender, consistently ranking in second place to former President Trump.
Are you thankful to live in a free state? Are you going to vote so we can keep it that way? And when you do that, will you help me send a tired, worn-out old donkey out to pasture once and for all? We love Northwest Florida. We love seeing y'all. I know we got some folks here. Was Congressman Dunn here? Where are these guys at? We got Neil Dunn. Is this still your district? 10 feet outside his district. Okay. Then we have your next Senator, Jay Trumbull. Your state representative, outgoing Brad Drake is here. Where's he at? There's Brad. And then incoming Representative Shane Abbott. And then House District 3 is going to be Joel Rudman. Where's he at? Is he here? All right, he's close by. How many of you have moved to Florida in the last 4 years since I've been governor? How many of you who did raise your hand if you would have moved if I had not been elected governor and the other guy won? Would you still have moved? Now, how many of you that have been here a while, if I had not won that election, how many of you may have moved somewhere else? I mean, But, it's important because what you've seen over the last few years, you've seen different states be able to handle different issues differently, and obviously we all had to deal with COVID in one way or another. And I could just tell you this, you go back to the summer of 2020, I had every Democrat member of the Florida delegation in the U.S. House write me a letter. They wrote me a letter saying, oh, you're being reckless, we can't have business open, you need to lock down the state of Florida, you need to force everybody to shelter in place. That's what they told me to do. So I looked at the letter, and look, it wasn't just them. I mean, I was getting hammered by the media and the left and all that stuff, saying that we were doing everything so wrong. So I read the letter. I started, processing that, and I crumpled up the letter and threw it in the trash. Because I knew if I had done what they wanted to do, it would have destroyed this state. It would have thrown millions of people's lives into turmoil. It would have cost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of jobs, and it would have killed thousands and thousands of small businesses, and our kids would have had no opportunities to even go to school. It would have been like a mini California. And it's interesting because now you got all those people who were attacking me and against me, they now all claim that they wanted to do this all along. Everything Florida did, they were wanting to do it. Even Fauci is saying, I never said schools should be closed. That's what he's saying. He never supported lockdown. Well, I can tell you, we can't let them rewrite history. because with the stand that Florida took, being a citadel of freedom for this country, it was an important stand. It was a stand that has shaped the future of our state in ways that we are seeing each and every day with the investment in Florida, our 2.5% unemployment rate, second lowest on record, our record budget surplus of $22 billion. And the schools, if you look, there's only one test for K-12 that every state does, and this has started decades ago. It's called the National Assessment for Education Progress. They call it the nation's report card, and they actually on Monday released the first state-by-state results since COVID. And Florida, on that, all 50 states, we ranked for fourth grade reading, number 3 in the country, and for fourth grade math, number 4 in the country. And if you adjust for demographics, we are number 1 in the nation in both by far. And so that would not have happened. That would not have happened if we had let the left and the media have their way and lock the kids out of school, like they did in many of these other places. And I had to make a decision as governor. School districts, you must open for school in 2020. We said you got to do it. And the results are, you see the results, not just in the kids' scores. I mean, there's families that moved to Florida because they couldn't even access appropriate education in other places that they were at. We also took a stand not just about having the economy open, not just about having kids in school, which are obviously very important, but we took a very strong stand for individual rights. We were not going to let them impose things like vaccine passports in this state. And we were not going to let them impose vaccine mandates, whether employer, employee. And because we understood from the very beginning what they were trying to do by impose these mandates, it was not about science. It was about forcing compliance. That is why they were doing it. And if you think about like a vaccine passport, the people that are against me in this election, they wanted vaccine passports in the state of Florida. They wanted you to have to, if you're going to go to a restaurant or if you're going to go to a government building or something, you have to show your booster shots and show your vax schedule for COVID. And that would create basically a two-tiered society where people who, and oh, by the way, as they were doing that, they did not recognize natural immunity through prior infection. So you could have had COVID and then said, well, why would I want to do that? I've already had it. I have the immunity built up. And they still wouldn't have recognized that. So basically, that decision was going to be, can you participate fully in society or not? And that had no place in Florida. So not only did we not do any of those, we banned vaccine passports writ large. No government, no business, no passports, period.